Hello and welcome, Magic lovers. The Rogue Saturday deck this week is Sram, Senior Edificer, and whenever you cast an aura or equipment or vehicle spell, you draw a card. And a lot of these decks play a lot of cheap art equipment spells in order to draw cards with Sram, and I don't really care for that strategy. For one, it's pretty all in on SRAM, and I like to have a plan B. And for another, when your deck is packed full of cheap, bad equipment spells, when you draw cards with SRAM, you're going to draw a bunch of cheap, bad equipment spells. So I'd like to actually draw into real cards. So I'm playing just a reasonable amount of both equipments and auras. Sometimes you can play auras like Darksteel Mutation. I'm even trying out Face Fetters, so you can use auras on your opponent's creatures. You can also, Spirit Mantle has been wonderfully good for me in the past. That card is just pretty nuts. Flickering Ward lets you draw a card for 2 mana if you have SRAM out, and other than that, I'm playing a bunch of disruptive white creatures. So I'm principally trying to disrupt there's a lot of them in white. I'm trying not to disrupt myself so much, so I'm not running 2 mana Thalia because I have a bunch of equipments and auras and stuff like that. So 2 mana Thalia, Leonin Arbiter, the one that prevents you from searching, isn't very good because I probably have more tutors than most other decks because a lot of tutors got banned, but none of the equipment tutors got banned. So, I have Steel Shaper's Gift and where's the other one? Open the Armory, and of course Stoneforge Mystic and a few other cards like that. So I'm trying not to disrupt myself with these creatures, but things like 3 mana Thalia and the new Sunwing and Banisher Priest, Fiend Hunter, those kind of things. Mirror Crusader is great with equipment. So the idea is that you've got these disrupted creatures that are good with, you can put equipment on just about anything, so you want a decent number of creatures in the deck in case your SRAM just keeps getting destroyed and destroyed and destroyed. You don't really care that much. You don't really need SRAM to get the engine running. You just play a good creature. And then there's some top end things too, like Sun Titan is just plain awesome. Elspeth doesn't really fit the theme, but she's just plain awesome. And then these 5-drops, they all fit the theme really well. And the other Elspeth actually kind of does fit the theme because you can use it to get in damage. Gideon, just a good planeswalker. Hero Blade holds, same, just a good creature. But then there's some disruptive creatures, and most of the cheaper stuff is all disruptive things to prevent what your opponent is doing and try to net some card advantage by making your opponent's cards not work for them the way they want them to. So that's what I'm trying to do here. Instead of just going with the standard all-in SRAM Voltron with bad equipment strategy, I'm playing good equipment and good auras and good creatures, and not going all in on the SRAM strategy, but instead trying to disrupt what my opponent is doing and hopefully win the game that way. So let's see how it does. Alright, got a game. We are on the play. Playing against Ezuri. Ezuri Elves. We'll keep this. Linvala seems pretty good. That includes mana abilities. So I think we shouldn't have to worry about them being that fast that we can't get off of Linvala. And then it turns off Ezuri. And then we just hope that they don't have much removal. I think you just get Jet against Elves. Could presumably get like a Flare Husk or something like that. I'm going to get Jet. I think that's generally correct. One damage to each creature with flying. Alright, well that doesn't kill the Linvala, especially since it can't be activated with Linvala around. play Sram. Jit doesn't do anything without a creature, and casting Jit before Sram just doesn't make a lot of sense. Importantly, the opponent didn't have turn 1 ramp. Or anything to do on turn 2. That's pretty awesome. Let's play the Jit. Draw a card. Probably should have waited to play a land before until after drawing a card. Just Flickering Ward. Make it pro-green. Do we attack? I mean, we're trading 1 damage for 2 against what is normally a more aggressive deck, but is there anything we really need to worry about blocking? So right now the Jit plan actually looks pretty darn good. So, like, I can maybe hold Linvala as a backup plan or a plan for the turn later. I think Jit is just going to make it really tough for him to keep a creature around. Unless they play, like, Reclamation Sage right now. And then we have the Linvala to shut down most of their deck. Yeah, he could not have slammed Reclamation Sage faster. It's amazing how often people draw that when they need it. Alright, now we're not going to trade 2 damage for 3 when we can block for free on anything we want. Well, I guess actually we have the Linvala to block, can't we? The chances of my opponent removing it are fairly small. We also drew a card off the Jit. We've drawn a lot of lands, though. Opponent can't block, so like whether I attack first or not doesn't really matter. It's still technically correct to attack first. Just out of force of habit. Seems pretty good. Turns off Ezuri entirely. Ezuri's just a 2/2. Turns off Mana Elves. Turns off a lot of things. Let's hope they don't have removal. I could presumably bounce this and put it on Linvala to protect her. If my opponent doesn't have Song of the Dryads or Lignify right now. Or Beast Within. That's too bad. Alright, well let's bounce this. And replay it, I think, on Sram again. Sun Titan's going to be really good next turn. Let's name green. Let's attack. Opponent can double block if they want. And let's play the sword. This A and B plan is working pretty well right now. Like, we've got the Sun Titan, which is just a giant creature that's really awesome. But we've got a Sword of Fire and Ice that just eats up their creatures. And a Fire Shrieker, which doubles the Sword of Fire and Ice triggers. Alright, opponent throws in the towel. Doesn't even realize my hand is outstanding, but yeah, it's pretty hard for them to beat the Sword of Fire and Ice on the pro-green creature. Alright, got another game. I am on the play. Playing against... Oh, Vizier of Poisons. That's cool. Alright, so I will keep... Deals combat damage. Alright. It's nice to be on the play here. I should be able to swift foot boots and equip before he can put -1/-1 counters on Sram. Alright. Do I care about that? Not enough to path exile it, I don't think. I'm going to go ahead and Sram anyways. He can put a counter on it. He can use it to get a snake creature. But then it should do it once we get the Swiftfoot boots out. Just can't seem to say that today. Oh, and 2 black. It's a good sign. Missing green, or did you just play the wrong land, or you got something else you want to play? Oh, they're gonna kill Sram right away. Alright. Probably gonna attack first. They should attack first. Because it doesn't really matter if I block or not. Yeah, okay, they're attacking first. Yep, there we go. Opponent rightly recognizes that Sram is a problematic creature. Let's just go ahead and Stoneforge Mystic. And I think Feast of Famine is right here. It's close. I don't know, Feast of Famine doesn't kill this thing. Batterskull is pretty tough to deal with. Let's go with Feast of Famine. Probably path Hapatra as soon as she comes down. Oh, tapped green land, that's pretty awesome. Zulaport Cutthroat. Very well. Let's hope we draw a land here. That's a land. Oh yeah, we can't use this, and the oh well. Okay. We can protect Stoneforge though. which I think is the right play. Opponent will have very few ways of dealing with that. The advantage of doing that sorcery speed is that I can put it on Stoneforge. It's close, but I think that's correct. Now we can Fiend Hunt Hapatra if my opponent plays it, and then swing in and untap the mana that we used for Fiend Hunter. Probably also cast the Masterwork on Sword. We don't get a Sram draw trigger, but I think when you have 2 Sword of Feast and Famine against a black-green opponent, an extra card isn't going to matter that much. Alright, opponent plays Underworld Connections, so they get to draw extra cards. Do you get double triggers from Sword of Feast and Famine? I think you do. Alright, opponent swings in. If I draw a land, I could Sram and play the... I don't know, the double trigger seems pretty awesome. Opponent shouldn't be able to... With 1 black mana, there should be nothing they can do to Stoneforge. Yeah, they're even tapping it to draw a card. You are going to lose that card. Yeah, I think it's hard for this to be wrong. Copy this. Double equip. Don't have any instance other than Path to Exile to take advantage of this, but of the double untap. Alright, so he gets an extra card per turn, and I get to take 2 of them. I think I'll probably play Sram. It doesn't really matter if he gets killed. I wouldn't mind, and if he doesn't, I wouldn't mind drawing some cards off these other things. And then I can split the Sword of Feast and Famines next turn to protect him. Probably won't block if my opponent attacks. If they've got like -1/-1 tricks and whatnot. I doubt they'll attack, but 1 damage. It doesn't particularly matter. Definitely got my opponent in the tank. Alright, opponent is cycling Slingshot, Stinging Shot. Puts 3 -1/-1 counters on a target creature with flying. Is this 1 or more? 1 or more, yeah, so you get a snake. 1 snake, not 3, when you use that ability. Alright, cycling a... Oh, they're drawing a card with the... Okay. They're definitely digging. Yeah, opponent doesn't attack. Not surprising. Let's play Swiftfoot Boots. Alright, that resolves. I don't think there's a strong reason to move a sword. If my opponent has, you know, like the free removal spell, snuff out, then they can kill Sram in response, and then we don't get... Opponent can block if he wants. I'm definitely going to disenchant this Underworld connection with my mana untapped here. And then I'm going to play the Warhammer. I could open the Armory and get a Jet. This is brutal, right? Or I could play the Loxodon Warhammer, which doesn't do as much. It gains us life, but it's not like a Jet. Yeah, let's open the Armory. I think Jet's correct. I forgot this gets enchantments too. So we get Darksteel Mutation, Angelic, Faith's Fetters. I think the Jet Instinct. We could also Flickering Ward to draw a bunch of cards. Flickering. I just really want a Jet. All right. Elspeth is pretty awesome here. Opponent plays Swamp. They got one card in hand. They're tutoring. They got one green left. They lose this spell. It's not on top of their library, so they lose this spell if they don't play it. So I don't know what you get for one green that deals with this. I guess you could get Nature's Claim, but that's not enough. Alright, opponent took about 4 minutes to tutor and then picked up a natural state. They're still in a lot of trouble. And yeah, they realize that. Alright. Alright, got another match. I am on the play. Playing against Dragonlord Ojutai. Alright, I'm going to keep this hand. Play a Mother of Runes. Say go. Mother of Runes, so good. I love this new art too, by the way. It's so fantastic. And we'll just play out Sram. And say go. I'm going to attack with Mother of Runes. Not what she's here for. I don't know if I'll masterwork the Bone Splitter. You have protection from the chosen name. Alright. Well, good thing we have a B plan. We also have a disenchant. Oh, that's pretty good against Dragonlord. Let's just go ahead and... Probably should have waited to draw to play a land. I mean, it's mostly planes in here. I'm going to play the creature, not the masterwork. He becomes a 5/3 when equipped. do have to worry about playing into Wrath. Probably don't want to get much more than this. But we do have whenever an equipped creature dies, you draw a card. See what happens there. Do we want... I mean, Bone Splitter is pretty good. It makes everything into a threat. And it draws us a card. Oh, that's pretty good. I don't think I want to do it just yet. Here, take 7 damage. Put a storage counter? Yeah, that makes sense. Spreading Seas, okay. Well, Elspeth is pretty good. And that gives us wrath protection better than the Spirit Mantle. That's a ton of damage. My opponent just plays Dragonlord Ojutai. I think they might be dead. Get +1/+1, so it's an 8/4. +3 is 11. No, not quite. I doubt they'll do it anyways. They do know we have the Mother of Runes that we can just swing right through anything. Oblivion Ring. Alright. Targeting Elspeth? Okay, that makes sense. Well, that's pretty good. And let's equip it. I think it's Wrath or Bust here. Alright, yeah, we'll just... There's not a lot of reason to play any of these spells. Blessed Alliance is another card that they could have. I'm going to swing. I guess I could have just attacked with Sram to play around that. Settle the Wreckage. That's another one they could have. Alright. Can't do anything about that. Let's play a land. Let's play a Mirren Crusader. So attacking with SRAM wouldn't have made a bit of difference there. I probably should have equipped some of these things. We do have a ton of mana, so it might not matter, but I think it's definitely prudent to do so. There's only so many. Yeah, because I would be able to play this. Let's just do that. Snapcaster settle the wreckage? Jeez. Alright. Let's play a batter school then. There's only so many turns that they can do that. Scarda's aid is pretty good. It's probably not actually that good right now. The opponent doesn't have attacks. Let's play the Flickering Ward. It draws a card. Blue. Let's just equip. I don't know how much it matters if we equip all of these things. Jesus, protection from blue, protection from black, protection from green, lifelink, vigilance. Do you have an answer? It can't be targeted. Or you need 2 targeted removal? I should have done this. Alright, yeah, I definitely should have done that. That stings a bit. I should have bounced a Flickering Ward too. Alright. Opponent's down to 1 card. I think it's still pretty unattractive to cast Dragonlord or Ojutai. Opponent is attacking. Okay, they changed their mind. Alright, that wins it. Whew. The Spirit Mando gets through, and then we can even Batter Skull to give it Vigilance, and then it has Pro Colors, and then, okay. Whew, that was close. I definitely should have Sigarda's as aid before combat. I didn't think it would matter, and then it ended up actually super mattering. I could have Spirit Mantled the Batter Skull as an instant. To protect it from the soldier, and then he couldn't have swords the thing because I still would have had Mother Runes open. So, a little bit of a mistake, but I still was able to wear my opponent out of answers, which is pretty awesome. Alright, I got a game. I am on the play. I am playing against Leovold. Well, this should be fun. I got a couple removal spells. Knight of the White Orchid doesn't do a lot, but Jit's probably fairly bad against Leovold. Unless you can keep Leovold off the board, which it looks like we might be able to keep Leovold off the board. But Leovold plays a lot of other threats too. Like, do I kill the turn 1 Deathray Shaman? I don't know. Probably not. Not because it's Path to Exile. Opponent keeping up 4 Spike? Do I just play into it? I'm going to do it. We do have other threats. Does he have it? Yeah, he has it. All right. Deathrite Shaman. And no land. Alright, so I am 100% Journey to Nowhereing that. Don't want to Path to Exile it because, you know, just gives them a land. Opponent plays Dark Confidant. Alright, well, I'm just gonna... Sram might die. Stoneforge Mystic can get us, like, another creature that we can put a Jit on. Because we can get the the one thing. Yeah, I think that's probably alright. The, where's the guy? Flare Husk. I think that's probably pretty good. Do we let them draw a card on their upkeep, or do we pat this guy right away? He's probably going to draw a land no matter what. Let's say go. I want to Jit it. Scavenging Ooze. Yeah, okay, he didn't draw a green land. That's pretty important. Kind of plays into removal a bit. Put it on this thing. Alright. She's not dying. Definitely killing the Dark Confidant. Alright. I think only Mana Screw is helping us here. I think we'd have a lot of trouble if our opponent weren't Mana Screwed. Vidalcan Shackles, huh? Opponent has 2 islands. I almost... Jit is legendary. Jit is legendary. Do not... How do we get around the shackles? We have answers to it. It's just not in our hand. The Jit's still ours. We could move the Flare Husk, and then they'd have to play another island. It doesn't seem great. I guess we just don't worry about it for now. Oh. Didn't click with that guy. Let's just place Ram. This uses up their mana. Okay, they take Sram. That's fine. Well, that's pretty awesome. Let's try that. Let's just say go. I don't really care that they have this Ram. They can't take the Stoneforge Mystic. Search for Azcanta. How many counters does this thing have in it? So it's plus 10. Let's play the Cathedral. Play Hyena Umbra. Opponent have Spell Pierce or something like that. So it's 8. No, it's not. It's 17 damage, isn't it? Because it gets plus 1, and then there's 10 more here. So I don't think there's a strong... Well, we could make it giant and leave him at 1 life, and then he can't crack any fetch lands. Yeah. Oh, opponent's giving me the GG. I think Mana Screw won that for us by a mile. Like, if he hadn't been Mana Screwed, we did have a lot of removal for the Leovold. So, yeah, well, we've managed to pull it out. That was awesome. Got a rematch against Leovold. I want to see how this goes. If my opponent isn't Mana Screwed, I'm actually gonna, in the spirit of sportsmanly like as though this were a match, a best of 3. I'm going to let my opponent go first. Probably not going to end well for me. I'll keep this. Some removal would be nice. Opponent probably has a counter spell. Let's just play the True Believer, I think. It's like the worst of our creatures. But it's still kind of good against them because they can't target us with like removals, but discard spells and stuff like that. Looks like opponent took the bait. Spell Snare, okay. That would have gotten Sram just the same. We don't actually have anything to play with Sram right now. Opponent plays a tapped, a mana that's summon sick. Oh, yeah, that would have... True Believer would have been nice. So they knew they had that in their hand. They kind of had to counter it then. Alright, well, let's play Sram. We're kind of low on cards here. That him kind of hurt. And we haven't drawn anything spectacular. We don't have any equipments or anything like that. Ancient Tomb. Opponent's got 4 cards in their hand. They're not. Their second main And then tapping the... Here's down foam. Okay. I don't mind that being removed at all. I'm gonna replay it since we just drew a spirit mantle. Well, opponent's probably just gonna play Leovold and then it's not gonna matter. But whatever. If it eats removal instead and we get to get this Stonehewer giant out, that's awesome. Alright, that's not Leovold mana, that's Maelstrom Pulse. Awesome. That's what we wanted. Hopefully we've run our opponent out of mana. So this thing is really cool. If you get on tap and attack with it, all that mana doesn't look good for us. 6 mana? What's for 5? Titania? City's Titania. Okay. I do have a stop on my turn. Let's get Sword of Feast and Famine. I just realized I was going to do that, and I should have tapped mana. Alright, so let's play this Steel Shaper, play this sword, say go. Should be hard to remove this thing now that it's got a Sword of Feast and Famine on it. They can remove the Feast and Famine themselves, but they just got rid of Cyclonic Rift. Seems like you want to keep that, unless you have another one. Is this Leovold? Alright, this is Leovold. Do you also have an answer? Time Twister. Alright. Oh yeah, we lose cards. That's a bummer. Opponent doesn't attack, which is probably kind of strange. Oh, nope, that only costs 1. Actually, 2 damage to target creature or player, and you draw a card. Neither of those abilities are relevant, I just realized. I don't really want to do 2 damage to something that's his or mine. Or myself. Let's just move that. Just use it as a blocker. What can we get here? Actually, we can get Fire Shrieker. Or another one. They do the same thing, except Fire Shrieker does more damage. Opponent has to answer this right now. What do I want to... Should I Fairground Warden something? It lets them draw a card. I'm going to say no. I can actually untap this thing during combat, which is pretty awesome. If my opponent time twisters or something like that again, I can do that right then instead of during combat. Might as well gain 4 life as well. They draw an answer? Oracle. Death right on top of their library. Reflecting Pool. Do you have an answer? You're not attacking. I mean, Flickering Ward doesn't do a whole lot. What do you got here? This is the right time to do it. You got a bounce spell? Cryptic Command? Yeah, Cryptic Command. Tap all creatures I control, I assume. Draw a card. Might as well get an equipment. Oh, actually, we can untap it. Oh, this is so awesome. Might as well get a Warhammer. Leave. We need to stop here. Please let this work. Are you dead? Good game! I'm glad I saw that. Wow. I can't believe we beat Leovold again. I didn't think that would happen. There's some pretty good, like the B plan, obviously. Like Sram died twice, but we went on the Stone Hewer Giant is an awesome card. If you've never played with it before, it is very, very cool. It gets degenerate real quick if your opponent can't answer it. Basically, the first turn, it gets out of control. All right, we got another game. We are on the draw, playing against Kozilek. Very cool. Opponent's name is Bob the Balder. We got a Weathered Wayfarer, which I think is pretty cool. And a Knight of the White Orchid. I think we still play Sram. Instead of activating the Weathered Wayfarer, or I think I want to get this card off of Swiftfoot Boots. Myriad Landscape's pretty good. Giving away a bit of information by doing that, but the opponent knows I have Sram and that that's a good card. Hoping we can raise Sram here. Cloud Key artifact. Okay. Well, we might as well play this Guard as aid because it makes this equip cost free, and then it makes the Warhammer cost super free. Yes, please. Let's attack. Alright, hoping we're fast enough. We do have a Journey to Nowhere to deal with anything that opponent might put in our way. This is untapped. So that's kind of cool. Wasteland doesn't do anything against us. So I guess we just put it in your hand, then shuffle your library. We could just get a Plains or something like that. Opponent's going to Wasteland an Emeria. Yeah, let's get a Plains. I still have a beginning of upkeep, or beginning of combat stop from that last game. So we got him on like a 4-turn clock. I don't know if that's good enough. Precursor Golem. Alright. Whenever a player casts an instant or sorcery. So Journey to Nowhere doesn't do anything against that. Yeah, we can really pump up the clock here. Let's do the Griff Spoon first. Let's do the Masterwork. Let's copy the Warhammer. Equip it to this guy. Let's Knight of the White Orchid. Get a Plains. Guess we don't need to do this before combat. And then let's swing with the 9/2 flyer. And then opponent's only got 5 land. We can't activate this. So let's play Emeria and say go. We can activate it on their end step if they play a land. Emeria doesn't really do anything. Does Recruiter of the Guard? Recruiter of the Guard gets Stoneforge Mystic? Okay, opponent gave up. Yeah, we could have probably gotten there. Cool. Alright, we got another game. We got a rematch versus Kozilek, I believe. Yeah, Kozilek. I'm going to keep this hand. They are on the play. Majoring Network and Voltaic Key. Okay. Both great cards. Kind of cards you want to see in a deck like that. Opponent plays Deserted Temple. Wayfarer's Bubble. Okay. Let's just go straight for Sram. They Shouldn't have a ton of removal. Wonder what we Steel Shaper's gift for. Opponent miss a land drop? No, let's Spirit Mantle. I keep doing that where I play my land before doing it. And then let's attack. I don't know what we Steel Shaper's gift for. Batter Skull, Fire Shrieker, Flare Husk, Masterwork, Skull Clamp, Swift Foot, Sword, Jet. I think it's probably Sword. It's not by a huge margin. I don't know what. It's a little early. I want to use my mana, but it's a little early, and I'm not really sure yet what, which ones are going to be good for me. Wow. Wow. That's some gas. 7 mana. For a Thran Dynamo that he can untap. Wow. Up to 8 mana. Was he hoping to get to 10? Did he not math it out, or has he got a good play here? Never seen this card. Scorched Ruins. Untap. Sacrifice 2 untapped lands instead. Sculpting Steel for a Thran Dynamo. Alright. Back up to 8. Wormcoil Engine. Alright, well that Wormcoil Engine is a 0/1 indestructible. You just don't know it yet. They can't block. It says protection for creatures, so we'll do this first. I think we played a land again. Definitely need to do that first. And then, I mean, it doesn't really matter if things enter the battlefield tapped because we have pro creatures. I really just want to, let's get the Sword of the Animist out. Opponent is probably playing Kozilek here. That's a ton of mana. They can do almost anything they want now. Holy cow. They're just having it all. Well, it can't be Big Daddy Emrakul. It's a Trinisphere. Affects us a little. We copied a Scorched Ruins. Wow. So much mana. I don't think I want to exile that. I don't really care about a 12/12. Let's play this sword. See if they counter it. They probably counter it. Alright, they didn't. Let's play the Warhammer to... Well, I guess this is a 2-turn clock, isn't it? But they can probably play out their hand and then play Kozilek if we deal with it. So I guess we could... Now it's got Menace. Let's play this anyways. And equip that, because we can't do anything more. There's a Trinisphere out. So that's at 9 damage. But we would need... Yeah, I don't think we can make it... An equipment, an aura could get us to 21. We'll have him at 20. And Karn. Oh, geez. That's a good draw. Yeah, you think? Probably dead now. We can Fairgrounds Warden this thing. I think we have to now. And then, I don't know what from there. It might not matter. This is a bonkers amount of mana. Lodestone Golem. Alright, that's going to make Fairgrounds Warden cost 4. Which is a burden. Ghost Quarter. Doesn't do anything. Opponent plays Karn. Target non-creature artifact becomes an artifact creature with power. So if you can block Karn, it's not very good. Oh, I do not like the idea of exiling this Kozilek with Fairgrounds Warden. I don't like it one bit. Journey Tomorrow costs the same amount of mana and isn't a creature. So let's... I mean, we're probably dead. Opponent went absolutely bonkers with mana. We're definitely dead if we don't deal with that thing. And then I guess we equip this. We can't do anything more with the Trinisphere and a Lodestone Golem out. I was almost hanging in there until that Karn came around. We would have drawn Journey to Nowhere, so we wouldn't have been able to kill him that turn. We would have had to still kill Kozilek in order to live, and then swing and put him to 20 commander damage. So might still not have gotten there. It costs 12 now, so that's not nothing. Paradox Engine, jeez. Okay, that's... I'm going to let my opponent go off. My opponent is in Magical Christmas Land, and I'm going to let them do their thing, because I think it's fun. And if it were me on that side, you guys would be very grateful that I was able to go off and go nuts. Not going to just concede. What are they doing? So I got a Planar Bridge. Search your library for a permanent card. And they can untap it and then they just play Relic in order to untap all their mana. That's nuts. So cool. So cool. Planar Bridge is really awesome with Kozilek because you can counter like everything just by searching for a permanent that costs that amount of mana. You can just like, especially with Paradox Engine where you're just like untapping everything. Ancestral Statue. Bring it back. This is cool. Yeah, tap all your mana first. There you go. You can tap your Planar Bridge too and just go get something. Because they don't want to. So they have infinite mana. They're searching for. I should probably. Oh, you don't even. Oh, you put it on the battlefield. Never mind. It was a different planar portal or whatever that I think or something like that you can use with Kozilek to put them into your hand, and that one's cheaper. Okay. Opponent's showing me the win, so they've got a goblin cannon that and infinite mana, so that's good enough for me. It's they don't want to keep going. It's pretty clear they're going for the win now. I'm not gonna make them tap that much mana and everything like that. So they gave me the signal that they want me to tap out. So that's good enough for me. So this deck did a lot better than I thought it would. I actually, when I played this in testing, I kept playing against some of the top tier decks, and they kept coming really, really close, but then losing and losing and losing, and I almost gave up on this deck. And I still think that it's, despite my record here, which was outstanding, I still think this deck is going to have some trouble against the top tier decks. I do, however, think this is better than your Sram dumb equipment deck where, the equipment doesn't really do a whole lot and you go all in Sram. Like, we saw quite a few times where the B plan worked really, really well, especially against Leovold. I mean, like, it worked twice when we didn't really have Sram to do anything with. And against Leovold, Sram doesn't really do anything. That the B plan carried us to victory, and there were quite a few other times that the B plan carried us to victory. And I think that's an important part of the format, is you don't want to rely too heavily on your commander, and a lot of the really good decks in the format they rely on their commander. I mean, Tymna is obviously really good, Leovold is obviously really, really good, Breya is obviously really, really good, but the rest of the deck is, so great that, if you can't keep your commander around for a while, Tymna decks have the hardest time. When they can't keep their commander deck around, their cards are a little lackluster. They rely on having a critical mass of cards, but the other two decks, they just have such great cards that it doesn't really matter. So I think that's what you really need to do in this format for a deck to succeed. I think this is like tier 2.5 or something like that. It's probably not even tier 2, but I'm pretty satisfied with how these games went. That was a lot of fun. Like, it's really fun to make these equipments work and stuff like that. And some of those interactions were really, really neat. So I guess that's all for today. Thank you for watching. Have a good night.